What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video. Please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or video drops. Appreciate y'all. Share this out. Training camp is around the corner, at least for the veterans. But sharing this out gets it out to a lot of Giant fans, a lot of NFL fans, and, we reach more milestones that way. Please share this out. Also, share out the giveaway video. Tomorrow we will be doing a set of giveaways if we get enough traction. If we don't get enough traction, then we can't do the giveaways because it won't make much sense too. But with that being said, it's going to be a live episode of the Big Blue in the Bronx podcast, probably previewing training camp. I'll try to get maybe one or two content creators on as well, so we'll see how that works. But share out the giveaway video, share out the Twitter post. If you have Facebook, if you have Instagram, whatever, share it out. Much appreciated. So another Roster Bubble Series video. We only have a few more of these left, and I thought we had a good run with this series, but with that being said, we're not done yet. In these Roster Bubble videos, I take a player that's on the roster bubble. I talk about their background, their competition, and then I go into how they could win a spot on the roster and how they could lose a spot on the roster. So rather than Zon Gilbert, who we talked about more traits-wise than stats-wise, we're going to talk about Darren Evans today, more on a statistical basis and a background statistical basis, going back to his collegiate career at two different colleges, LSU and Nicholls State, which I never even fucking heard of before I looked this guy up. I don't have much traits on him, but obviously the notes that I do have, I'll credit Big Blue View, and then the statistic-wise, I'll credit Sports Illustrated, Patricia Traina with that. So Darren Evans, to be exact, is 6'3", 180 pounds. And it seems like a lot of these LSU corners, maybe it's just the two we have, are very, very skinny, at least for their size and, the position they play. Like Cordell Flott's 175, I want to say, and Darren Evans is 180. So obviously one of the things on their list is eat a bunch of Whoppers, eat a bunch of chicken nuggets, eat a bunch of Big Macs. Do what you got to do, right? Just don't fuck up like the inside of your body, What you guys get the point. Anyway, in terms of his strengths and weaknesses, we'll go over that. Then we'll talk about his actual background. In terms of strengths and weaknesses, once again, credit to Ed Valentine, a Big Blue View. Long and in the way, meaning that he's very long and get in the way of certain wide receivers because of his length, of course. He is able to cover a lot of ground with his lengths and frustrates wide receivers. At Nicholls State, he was the FCS version of Sauce Gardner, strong in run support. So, strong in run support, hey, listen, that could possibly be a thing that Don Martindale likes. Shows good patience to accurately play the ball once it comes his way and will wait for the last moment to stick his arm out and to knock it down, meaning the football. So we like physical corners, here in Big Blue land. Has the ability to match up versus bigger wideout threats and has done very well against those guys. Weaknesses, will need to continue work on his body frame and strength. Strength is, one aspect of the game he needs to improve on. We talked about his body frame. He's only 180. He's got to get some strength in there as well. Maybe him and Cordell Flott do a bunch of pizza reviews. I don't know. But anyway, lateral agility may be a question mark. He is long-legged, so his change of direction skills could be a big compromise. We talked about this with Zon Gilbert. Obviously, Darren Evans is a bit bigger. But with that being said, you have to have at least a decent set of change of direction skills, or else against speedier wide receivers, getting beat is very much a possibility. Now, let's take a look at credits to Sports Illustrated, of course, but let's take a look at a bit of his background. So right now, or at least at the time this article was written, he was 6'2", 179. Began his career at Nicholls, earning all Southland Conference honors as a sophomore in 2018. In 2019, he started 14 games and tied for fifth in the FCS with 15 pass breakups. So obviously that was for a smaller school. We're going to go into a little bit more of the stats once I am done reading this stuff from Sports Illustrated. Primarily an outside cornerback, and including his time at Nicholls, finished with 106.8 passer rating, which really isn't that good, if you ask me. allowing a career completion rate of a 60.2 in coverage, which once again is good. It's not bad like the passer rating, quick to diagnose plays, and solid against the run, though his tackling technique could probably use some refining. And according to PFF, he has missed 20.3% of his tackle attempts. That's not great. Not great. I know we had Curtis Riley a few years ago who was a veteran. He was trash, but this guy's a younger cat, so he has more room to get better. One of the concerns is that 42.3% of the yards he allowed in coverage came after the catch. So the fact that either he's chasing behind wide receivers or he can't wrap up, that's a little scary. He does track the ball in flight, but that yards after catch rate combined with 0 interceptions and just 4 pass breakups actually at LSU in 299 coverage snaps are concerned. So obviously he does have the trait to be physical, but 4 pass deflections doesn't necessarily, it just tells a different story. He's only played 14 games at a real college level. I'm not saying, Nichols isn't a college, but LSU, he's only played 14 games, and yes, you could say Stingley, you could say Cordell Flott, and some of these other defensive backs that have come out of there. But this guy's inexperienced as far as this goes. Now, obviously, in college, he had a few years with Nichols, a smaller competition. But to go over stats, let's go over that real quickly. So, 2021 at LSU, he had 27 tackles in 11 games and 4 pass deflections. Once again, probably his best season at LSU. And then the year before that, total of 3 games, 6 tackles, and nothing else. That is all. Now we go to his Nichols career. 2019. He had a total of 2 tackles for a loss, 47 tackles, no forced fumbles, 1 interception for 5 yards, 1 quarterback hit, and I think that's pretty much about it. Now, 2018 at Nichols, if this thing would load, obviously their website is a little bit on the slower side. Okay, here we go. So, 2018 at Nichols, 33 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 fumble recovery for 51 yards, 2 interceptions, 8 pass breakups. Now let's move to 2017. Obviously, it's going to take a few seconds just to get these stats up because, once again, their site is a little bit on the slower side. But appreciate you guys for sticking in through this video. In terms of his 2017 season, total of 20 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, and 5 pass breakups. Now, finally, let's go to 2016. He only played in 1 game, and that was against Georgia, but that was all. So that's Darren Evans for you. His career at Nichols, and then his career at LSU. So he's more experienced than I thought because when I first looked at him, I thought, okay, he only played 2 years in college. I mean, why would he come out? But he played total of, 4 with Nichols and then 2. So he's played 6 years of college, which is a theme, honestly, on this team. Yusuf Corker, I think, played a couple of years. Tamon Fox and Trenton Thompson, they both played like 5-6 years in college. Obviously, Darren Evans has less experience at a larger competition level, which may or may not be one of the weaknesses when it comes to the NFL level and just competing overall in this preseason period, summer period overall. So competition-wise, he's facing Jaron Williams, Khalil Dorsey, Michael Jacquet, Zion Gilbert, Maurice Kennedy, and Rodarius Williams for some of the backup spots. How can he win? Make plays in the preseason and in practice. I mean, that's one of the best ways. It's basic. One of the best ways to get on the roster or the practice squad. Showing growth is important. I talked about it with Zion Gilbert and some of these other cats. If you show growth, you're not necessarily guaranteed a roster spot, but they could say, okay, listen, he's not fit for the roster yet, but we could keep working on him when he's on the 60-man practice squad. Play well in man coverage. Show some growth in terms of tackling. That has to be really refined for him to make the roster, but he has to take a few steps forward in terms of tackling technique in order to be on the practice squad because we need tackling corners. And Once again, in this day and age of the NFL where yards after the catch is more important than ever with speedier receivers, you don't want to be lagging behind guys and not wrapping up tackles. That's just something you don't want to do. And run support is very important. So if Darren Evans can be, something in the running game, that adds to his resume for Don Martindale to look at. How can he lose? Struggles in man coverage, does not have the proper tackling technique, doesn't show any growth in that area, has a quiet camp and no progression. It's pretty much as simple as that. Overall, I don't know if he's going to make the practice squad, but I do not think he's going to make the roster right off the bat. I think it would be very, very testy for him. I think it would be a rough opportunity. Obviously, he would start on special teams, but for the corners we have, at least the starting 2, 3 as of right now, who are injury prone possibly, I wouldn't give him any of the opportunities. I would give it to Kennedy. I would give it to Rodarius Williams, some of the guys who have had more experience at the level. Let Evans grow. Let Zion Gilbert grow. There's a couple other guys. Let them grow in the practice squad. Let them develop. And then when they're ready, they're ready. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops or drops. Appreciate you all coming back. This is probably one of the longer videos I did in terms of the roster bubble series and these undrafted free agents. Obviously, it went about 10, 11 minutes with Zion Gilbert. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in and supporting the channel. Peace out, guys. See you later, and stay cool.